Would you tell me, what is the purpose of the Counseling Center?
The Counseling Center really exists to provide a service to our students who are going through a hard season, be it struggling with sin or walking through difficulty, suffering. And so walking alongside them, providing individual couples counseling, but also we provide a graduate internship for our counseling students who want to grow and experience.
When was the Counseling Center founded and why?
So it started in the fall of 2017. As our school grew, especially our college demographics, we realized that we have a lot of students in need of care. And so rather than having to outsource that, we saw that it would be beneficial to provide counseling here that aligns with our theological beliefs. And so in tandem with that, we have counseling graduate students in counseling who need to get experience. They need an internship site. And so it was a partnership between the Student Life Office and our counseling degree program to create a location here on campus that's convenient for students to receive counseling and for other students to gain experience.
What are some of the primary ways that the Counseling Center equips and resources those that come to it or need counseling?
Yeah, our primary mode is individual counseling. So when someone reaches out, they can fill out online forms and those come straight to me. They don't just disappear into the cloud. I review those and then I assign them to one of our counselors or counseling interns. So that individual counseling relationship is the primary source of support. But a lot of times I'll have students who say, I want to find a counselor who's not affiliated with the school, or I want someone who has more experience. And that's where I can also help them find a really good referral for counseling. So those are kind of our primary ways of providing that service.
What's one thing about the Counseling Center that most people do not know?
I think most people don't know that we exist. But some of that is the nature of what we do, that we are pretty discreet. Like our offices are kind of tucked away in Ledford. You might not even know we're there. But so much of that is that people often want some privacy if they're seeking counseling. They don't necessarily want everyone to know. And so we try to be respectful of that. But that means sometimes people don't even know that we're there.
I'd love to know, so touching a little bit more on the graduate students who are interning, what does that internship look like? And what could someone expect if they were going into that internship with you guys?
Yeah, our internship program is built around 3 points of emphasis. One, I want to make sure that you grow in clinical competency. Like I want to know that you're a good counselor. You know how to respond, you know how to listen well and ask good questions, all of those like skills of counseling. I want to know that you're growing in personal awareness. As a counselor, sometimes we're working with someone and our own stuff may come up. I want to make sure that they grow in recognizing that and addressing that appropriately. But the main thing I focus on is spiritual formation, because I'm much less concerned with what do I do when someone says X, because I can't train our counseling interns to be prepared for every single scenario that could present itself. I'm more concerned with who are you becoming? Are you becoming more like Christ? Because that will overflow into your counseling. But we have that threefold emphasis that hopefully is cultivating the whole person of the counselor, not just their skill, not just their own personal awareness, but their spiritual formation in that. But those students also will meet with me every week where I'm going to ask them what's going on in their cases. How can I help? I want to make sure that they have all the support they need because they're growing in experience. And that's also where I'll ask them questions about how are you spending time with the Lord intentionally? How are you drawing near to Him? How are you in community yourself? I try to set expectations appropriately, both for the grad student. They're so nervous when they come in and they've never counseled someone before. And I look at them and I say, like, I'm glad you're nervous. If you weren't, I'd be concerned. But for counselees to say, hey, this is a free service. We are primarily staffed with those graduate level interns at various stages of the internship. And so that's where I try to encourage the counselees to know they are not doing this on their own. They'll be checking in with me. They also will have a practicum class with a professor. So they're not just hearing from me, they're hearing from Dr. Kellen, Dr. Brooks, Dr. Williams, Dr. Cockrell. So they have a community of more experienced counselors who are pouring into them. And so that's how we can offer the counseling for free, but with lots of support for the student.
That makes a lot of sense.
Those interns will start their internship at the very end of their counseling degree. We want to see that they've taken most of their coursework before we're going to let them sit in the chair with a real client who has real needs and real hurts and real sin struggles. And so we really ensure that those students are not stepping into that role prematurely.
What would you say to a student who wants to come to counseling but is scared to take that first step?
My heart goes out to them because I know it can be really hard to admit when you need help, and then to take a step to reach out. And so if it's helpful to put a face with a website, if you go on our website and you fill out the long intake forms, I'm sorry, but that's some of how we want to understand what's going on. Those forms just come to my inbox and I get to review those, and then I can make a recommendation to say, hey, I think that this intern on our team might be a good fit for where you're at. Sometimes I say, you know what, I would love to connect you with an alumni of our program, with another trusted, like-minded counselor in the community. And let's make that connection, because I think they actually would be a really good fit for where you're at, what you need. I think one of the most valuable things that we offer is a space for people to come and be honest, be vulnerable. We really strive to even make the office space very comfortable. Like, we have nice couches, and like in my office, we have this really soft pink pillow that I've had people tell me is the softest pillow they've ever felt. And so we try to create an entire space that is welcoming, because we know there are so many barriers to people getting help. We want to remove those barriers. And so one of the most valuable things that we offer is the space for you to come and to be heard.
What are some ways that you have seen graduate interns grow and be equipped for their future ministry while they're serving with the counseling center?
Yeah. I've seen the students that come in, it's their first semester. They have never counseled anyone in their whole life, and they're like visibly shaking, and it's precious. And it reminds me of when I was a new counselor, which wasn't that long ago. But I see that, and then I see the Lord growing them, that when they are ready to graduate and they're going to walk across that stage in Binkley, and I'm so proud because I see how the Lord did something incredible in them. Sometimes I describe it, it's like they bloom in the program. It's so incredible to see the Lord shaping these students into counselors. And so that is one of my favorite things about this role, is that I get to really have a front row seat to what the Lord is doing. And then I see them go into the career field. We have some of our interns have graduated and gone into ministry roles. Some have gone into crisis centers, crisis pregnancy centers, psychiatric hospitalization programs, but a lot of them have just gone into private practice, and they work in an office. Some of them work in a place where they can't really share the gospel openly, but they are being strategic about where they work and even having gospel conversations with coworkers as much as they're able to. And so it's incredible to see all the different ways that the Lord equips them and then sends them out into counseling ministry.
That's great.
That practical experience of an internship is the difference between talking about a theology of suffering and sitting in front of someone weeping over the hurt that they're walking through. I'm so encouraged, again, to see that transformation that the Lord does in counselees and in our interns. I've also just been really encouraged personally that I've been in this role for about 4 years, and the Lord has grown me so much as a counselor, but now also supervising counselors. It's been incredible to see the Lord use this to stretch me, and that's been really neat. You know, if you or someone you know is really struggling, and you think it might be helpful just to have a listening ear, someone to talk to, I would love to connect with you. If you have questions like, what does counseling even look like? I talked to this stranger in a room, and they're going to turn on lamps, and it's going to feel weird. I'd love to talk more, answer any questions you have. And our team is happy to walk alongside you, whatever's going on, however we can help.
That was great. All right.
Cool.
You're good.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it. Well done.
Thank you.